There was massive protest in Ghana as its president prevented Peter Obi and other African dignitaries from speaking at an event igniting the voice of Africa at the Kwame Nkrumah Independence Square in the country. Angry Ghanaian youths attacked the president, saying that the action was intentional to stop top African progressives from enlightening Ghanaians on its future that will kickstart a revolutionary movement for the country. Peter Obi, Professor Mulumba, Dr. Arikana, and Julius Malema were billed to speak at the elated event.
Peter Obi coming to the Independence Square of Ghana on a very sensitive day like the 7th of January to address the youth of this country. A young man by Professor Lumumba coming to Ghana, most especially Julius Malema coming to Ghana, Dr. Arikana coming to Ghana. I think these are the improvements of Africa. Our Ghanaian Nkrumah is gone, but these are the improvements of other countries. Today they are in here to speak to the youth. We get here and we realize that the program is cancelled. We were invited as student leaders of this country. All mother unions of this student of Ghana here were invited. The University Student Association are invited. Member institutions are invited. The National Union of Ghana Students is invited. People have moved from Navarango, people have moved from our student leaders to listen to these great people. We get here and we are told that the program is cancelled. Why? What are they going back home to speak about Africa? I know definitely Lumumba is going to speak on media. We will listen to Lumumba. I am sad. I don't know what is the reason behind, but we are sad. We are bitter. We are pained. It is very sad.
What cue should the African youth take from this?
You see, I don't know. The important thing is that I would have been able to answer this question properly if the forces behind the cancellation of this program was known. I don't know. But I am sad. I don't know the convention that is meant to ignite the voice of Africa. What we are interested as student leaders is that it's the people on the flyer. Some people are here who want to listen to Stoneboy. I am here as a young student leader to listen to the powerful speakers of Africa.
Of course.
Let me repeat this again. Ghana Nkrumah is gone. But as young student leaders, we know some Nkrumahs in different countries. Right. Lumumba is a clear example. Julius Malema is a clear example. Yeah. Stop the program. Why? Who is that behind the stopping of this program? Students.
According to Obi, he took to his Twitter page and said that the event was, however, cancelled at the last moment, notwithstanding the mammoth crowd that already assembled all over Ghana and Africa. The event was to start an African conversation that will give Africa hope. Maybe the government of the day was afraid of a revolution that may rise after Ghanaian youths have been enlightened. African leaders is said to be the problem of Africa. They are stooges of the West that would not want a revolution in the country so as to position Africa in the world map for development. The former Director General of P2B Dati Presidential Campaign Organization, Doyin Okupe, has dumped the Labour Party. In his resignation letter shared with journalists on Monday, Okupe cited ideological differences post-2023 election as the basis for his departure from the party. Okupe was in December 2023 convicted by the Federal High Court in Abuja after being prosecuted by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission for money laundering to the tune of 700 million naira. He was accused of illegally receiving money from a former National Security Advisor, Sambo Dasuki, from the funds meant for arms procurement. He was jailed for 2 years, but the judge placed an option of a fine of 13 million naira, which he took and avoided time in prison. Okupe, a day after his conviction for money laundering, announced his withdrawal from the campaign of P2B, the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, but vowed his support and loyalty to the party's flag bearer. In his resignation, Okupe said, "I submit herewith my letter of resignation from the Labour Party with effect from today." We recall that our flag bearer, Mr. P2B, myself and others, left the PDP abruptly and had to look for a special purpose vehicle in which to contest the 23 presidential elections. The Labour Party, your good self and other members of your executives provided us with this veritable platform with no burdensomeness whatsoever, and for which we are extremely grateful. He added, "We did contest the election on the platform of the Labour Party and lost. This makes it exceedingly difficult for me to continue to stay in the Labour Party, which is ideologically rooted in the left of the center. I have been a rightist and a liberal Democrat all my entire life. It is therefore this ideological conflict that makes me seek an exit so that I may continue my political activities with liberalism, sincerity, and freedom. I wish to thank you in particular and other members of the leadership of the party for the cordiality and respect accorded to me as the Director General of the Obidati Presidential Campaign Organization. Now it's final and confirmed that Doyin Okupe has left the Labour Party. So let's look at the reasons why he left the Labour Party. I find it worrisome when he said that he's a rightist while Labour Party is always uh, on the left. So from the center, that is, if I will interpret it, the APC is in the center, and those on the left are those that are not in terms with the policies and the activities of the APC. Those on the right are those that are looking for a way that things can get better, even with the policies, even when the policies are wrong. So if I'm wrong with this, my analogy, I think that is what he means, that he is a liberalist. He's a sincere person and is looking for freedom. That's what he used. He said, I've been a rightist and a liberal Democrat all my entire life. It is therefore this ideological conflict that makes me seek an exit so that I may continue my political activities with liberalism, sincerity, and freedom. Okay. He said it is exceedingly difficult for him to continue to stay in the Labour Party, which is ideologically rooted in the left of the center. So this is where I'm looking at the reasons why he has left the Labour Party. Although many people will say that he had a mission and he has not really accomplished that mission, or probably his mission was to destabilize the the chances of Obi winning the elections and also distracting so that just like Apapa and others that were planted as a mole in the Labour Party, he had come and done his job, so it's time for him to leave. So if you are saying you are a liberalist, you're a rightist, does that mean that when a government does something that is not good, you don't criticize? Or are you going to just align and align and align since they have been in PDP, they have been aligning and nothing has changed? So are we going to continue to remain with the status quo, or we need to change the status quo? So if your ideology is all about being right with the current administration, then it is so evident that you had a purpose in Labour Party and you have achieved that purpose and really want to move on. So now being liberal might be aligning with the party in power. So these are what we talk about politicians. Politicians are all about interest. What interests them the most? The highest bidder, these are politicians. They are not particular about how they are going to bring the dividends of government of governance to the people. They're all just particular about how they can form cliques and have their cronies all loot and take away the treasure of the nation. You can see what's happening in Tinubu's government, how some, let me say, alleged criminals have gathered themselves as a carcass looting Nigeria's money. Within how many months such money has been looted in the federal coffers of one ministry that is non-significant? But then if this is happening at the humanitarian ministry, then what happens in the petroleum industry? That's millions of barrels being stolen every month, or we can't account for the number of barrels we are we are we are we are churning out from our country, with the ministry having spanned over 30 years. So what do you expect? So politicians will always be politicians. I don't blame Doyin Okupe. Some people have said that they expected that he should have left the party a long time because they believe that just like Apapa and his cohorts, he may have been planted by the some interest, some higher interest in Labour Party to know what is happening and become a mole or destabilize the efforts of the Labour Party. Politicians can go to any length because of alignment and also tribalism. Most of them are doing this because of tribalism, sort of. Somebody said the reasons why people are not protesting these days is because a particular tribe that dominates activism, social activist groups in the country, has refused to make the bold step. But during the time of Jonathan, we saw all sort of activists, and they were from a particular region of the country. Now that this region is in power, it now seems that nobody wants to go out to protest, despite the fact that the pain and suffering has increased more than ever before. Never in the history of Nigeria that you will see Nigerians suffering like this, but nobody is coming out to protest. So when a Doyin Okupe would resign from Labour Party, he just tells us one thing: he wants to go and find solace somewhere where he can get crumbs that can sustain him as a politicians. Politicians need places whereby they can still get like be fed. They need to hold positions, they need to be in power so as to be oiled and get a grease from the government. I believe that might be one of the reasons why he's leaving the party, to align and align. Probably has been offered to come somewhere and get some kind of alignment, because politics in Nigeria is mostly about alignment. But I believe the Labour Party now has shown itself to be an opposition party. Peter Obi and the Labour Party had shown themselves to be an opposition party, holding the government accountable, whether they are being leftist or rightist. That is not the point. The fact is that when a policy of the government is not going to help the people that it governs, somebody needs to speak out. And if you are being called a leftist for speaking out, or for uh, giving solutions, proffering solutions to the government on a particular issue, then so be it. The Nigerian people woke up during the NSAS period. Now the elections have already opened our eyes to so many things. And I believe going from now on, going further, there would not be any dull moment. Nigerians are the eyes of the Nigerian people are opening every day, every time. So the politicians, they should continue, but there's a day of reckoning, and this day of reckoning will see a country whereby the youths will stand up and revolt against the status quo, the powers that be.